Hello, this is Jeff Hampton with the Hampton Law Firm. Welcome to our video series here today. I'm going to talk to you a few minutes about drug cases in Texas and specifically in the Tarrant County, Dallas County area. What if I have people that call me that'll say, Jeff, what if the state can pretty much prove that I did possess these drugs? Is there any way that I can still get my case dismissed? Yes, through diversion programs, okay? If you're a first-time offender, this video is for you. We're going to talk about diversion programs in the Tarrant County and Dallas County area, okay? Now, if you'll wait around to the end of this video, I'll also give you a free ebook, What to Do If You've Been Charged with a Drug Crime in Texas, all right? So today I want to go over the ins and outs specifically of what are the possible diversion programs available to you if this is your first drug arrest, and what it is, what are kind of the pros and cons and some considerations that you can make when you decide to make a decision to hire your attorney, to know that you're empowered with the right information to make a good choice for yourself. All right, so let's jump right into this. If the state can prove anything, if the state can prove everything on my case, is there a way I can still get it dismissed? Yes. Now, there's two ways. The first way is you might be able to, your attorney, through the work of your attorney, they may be able to get what's called a conditional dismissal, all right? What is a conditional dismissal? A conditional dismissal is when your attorney can go and negotiate a settlement with the prosecutor where if you are willing to do a few things on the front end, and I'll give you some examples of those in a minute, if you do a few things on the front end, the prosecutor will agree upon completion of those items to dismiss your case. I'll give you an example. One example is maybe if you give a few clean drug tests, maybe complete some community service hours, maybe complete an online class. If you do some of these things up front, the prosecutor in exchange will be able to have something they can put in their file to show a good reason why they decided to get rid of the case. That's always number one option we can look at is a conditional dismissal. Number two, the area I'm going to spend most of my time on for the rest of this video are diversion program options, okay? Now, these programs are very important, and here's why. I'm just going to tell you this generally. Let's say you hired the Hampton Law Firm, and you immediately hired us. We put our name on your case, and we waved a magic wand, and your case was dismissed. Okay? Now, under the law, you are now going to have to wait 2 years on a misdemeanor and possibly 3 years on a felony before you are eligible to get that arrest expunged from your record. You've got to wait the statute of limitations before you can get that entire arrest expunged. These diversion programs I'm going to talk to you about here today allow you to get that expunction process completed way before then. Sometimes you can get it done immediately upon completion of the program. Okay, so let's jump in. The first one we're going to talk about is a brand new program that applies to drug charges, and it's called the Deferred Prosecution Initiative. Now, this whole program is designed, the district attorney's office put this together as a way to try to encourage sobriety. They want to see proof of your sobriety for first-time offenders. They believe that you can kind of self-correct. You don't need probation. You don't really need drug treatment. And so here are some of the things that are required. I'm not going to go over all of this. You can go back through my web content on our page covers a lot of this. But I am going to cover some of the very basic requirements. Number one, you must be a first-time offender. This must be your first time, okay? Number two, this program is for candidates that are 25 years of age or older at the time of the offense. So no youthful offenders. It's everybody that's 25 and older, okay? That's very important. That's where you kind of draw the line on this particular program to be considered. Now, you must complete an application, and it must be submitted for you to be entered into the program, and you have a 90-day deadline. This all must be done within 90 days, the date your case is filed. Very critical, very important that you adhere to that deadline. There's a program fee of $300. They do make you take a hair test to confirm that you've been clean, okay? But then once you're completed, you finish all this, you do a 4-hour drug education class. The entire program lasts 6 months. But imagine this. Imagine you're charged with a pretty serious felony drug charge. You go through this program. At the end of the 6 months, your case is dismissed. You can start moving forward to get this thing expunged from your record. okay? So that's the benefit. And that's why everybody always asks, why would I even consider this, Jeff? Well, if it's important for you to get this off your record as soon as possible, this is the vehicle by which you can do that. And so, but of course, you've got to have the sobriety proof, and you've got to just stay out of trouble during that 6-month period. Now, people ask me, and it's a good question, what's the risk? What's the risk of the Deferred Prosecution Initiative? Well, the primary risk is if you fail to complete these conditions, you're sort of kind of at the mercy of the court. So I sit down with every one of my clients and I say, look, I think you're going to be a good candidate for this if you want to consider it, but make sure you're committed to the process. Because if you're going to move forward with this, the last thing you want to do is to commit to this process and then it turn out where now you're at the mercy of the court because you've either used again or there's a new violation, a new charge that's brought up, okay? So remember, getting into the program, you no longer have the right to a jury trial. So since you no longer have the right to a jury trial, the judge could now sentence you within the range of punishment or give you a probation. So I think it's important for you to understand that. Now go back to my webpage, you're gonna see all the list of the crimes that I have there that explain that you're eligible for, that list on there, and it's everywhere from possession of marijuana under 2 ounces all the way up to felony drug charges, possession of controlled substances that qualify for this, okay? Now, next program, let's talk about the next program. This one is called the Deferred Prosecution Program, the DPP program. Now here's the big distinction here. Very similar to the DPI program, but this is for youthful offenders, all right? This is for those that are under that 25 years of age that we were talking about, all right? So if you're under 25 years of age, this program is for you, all right? So let's talk about that for a second. It's designed for young first-time offenders, and there's 2 tracks that you can be on for this. One is the traditional DPP track where it's on a misdemeanor charge, it's a shorter term. You are only actually on a misdemeanor drug charge, it can be a 4-month program, literally 4 months. And I'm going to summarize it this way. On a misdemeanor drug charge, if you get into the Deferred Prosecution Program, you have an application, you have personal statements you have to fill out, some letters of recommendation. You turn all that in within 90 days of the 90-day deadline. You go to an orientation, you pass a drug test, you go literally 4 months. You get at the end of that program period of 4 months, your case is dismissed. You can immediately file for an expunction to have all of it removed from your record. If it is a felony, it's an 8-month program, okay? Now, so it's a little bit longer, but you gain the same benefit even on a felony drug charge. So it's important that your fees on this can run anywhere between $125 to $225 program fees. And of course, you've got to make sure that you are that you're sober during this period of time and you can pass a drug test. But this is one of the quickest and easiest ways to get a drug charge completely off your record if you're a first-time offender. All right, now we're going to move to the level, we're moving up a level now of a little bit more work involved. And this is called the First Offender Drug Program. They call it FODP. Now, the First Offender Drug Program is designed for first-time offenders, but there's a lot more oversight on this one, okay? There's more that you have to do. I want to remind you, I cannot say this enough. Every one of these programs, 90 days, 90-day deadline. If you miss the 90-day deadline, there are no exceptions, okay? So when you get into this program, there can be no alcohol or drug use during the term of the program. The felony program lasts 180 days. There's a $550 program fee. You have to do 2 urinalysis per month, proving that you're clean. And then there are 2 hair tests that are also required along with a drug education class that must be taken. Now, if you do the First Offender Drug Program for a misdemeanor, it's only a 90-day period, okay? I'm throwing a lot at you. I know there's a lot of programs here to consider. My point is, this is why it's so important that you have an attorney that goes over all these options with you. But I think it's important. Sometimes attorneys aren't even aware of this themselves, and they haven't stayed on top of this information. You need to make sure you're working with an attorney that can lay all of this out for you so that you know that you're making the right choice for which diversion program may fit your needs. Or maybe it's not a diversion program at all. But if you have questions about your drug case and you would like us to answer those for you, or maybe do a free case analysis, don't hesitate to contact the Hampton Law Firm at 817-877 5200. Also, I promised you if you waited around till this long video to now, I would give you a free ebook, What to Do If You've Been Charged with a Drug Crime in Texas. Click the link right down here below. We'll send that right over to you through your email. And I look forward to seeing you on our next video series. If you liked what you heard today, subscribe to our video, to our YouTube channel, and we'll look forward to sending you more great content just like this. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.